There are many things you could say about an athlete who is a cut above the rest, who's always thinking 10 steps ahead, leaving their opponents in the dust. The ones who play three-dimensional chess and leave fans and pundits asking, how did they do that? Specifically, in the world of mixed martial arts, there are brawlers and strikers, grapplers and wrestlers. There are those who specialize in takedowns, and those who prefer the stand-up game. But there are very few who could ever be called artists, visionaries. Current UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya is an artist. Adesanya can drive you crazy if you try to describe his style. He's a consummate kickboxer with a dancer's grace, a striker who is always strategizing, always playing the game just that much better than his opponents. Adesanya isn't just skilled, he's deeply intelligent, a visionary, an artist, and he treats each match as his masterpiece. As of this video's release, Adesanya also has the unique value of being undefeated in his professional MMA career with a record of 20-0. With a record like that, it might seem foolish to question a fighter's talents. But how good is Israel Adesanya actually? And what does that mean for the remainder of his career? Like, share, and subscribe to the Ultimate Fighting Network as we discover just how good the last stylebender, Israel Adesanya, actually is. Israel Adesanya has used every single piece of his past to inform his future. Born in Nigeria and raised in Ghana and New Zealand, Adesanya has a passion for excellence informed by his family's desire that he receive the best possible education and opportunities to succeed. Before signing with the UFC, Adesanya spent a handful of very successful years as a professional kickboxer. This gave him a unique opportunity to learn his strengths and weaknesses, make his mistakes, endure his few losses, and get better and better at his craft. When he eventually embarked on a career in mixed martial arts, Adesanya knew himself better than most fighters ever know themselves, and he was able to bring that knowledge to the cage. Aside from his foundation in combat sports, Adesanya's main inspirations have nothing to do with fighting. As a child, he wasn't interested in sports. Instead, he loved art, movies, and anime. As he grew older, he fell in love with style and fashion, and especially dance.
My first time I got street cred was being a dancer, like the school talent quest, and I came out to want to be starting something by Michael Jackson. And I did this wave from here to here, and I remember the whole school just erupted because I was popping like crazy. They were just like, we had no idea this kid could move like this.
None of this went to waste in crafting the persona he would one day adopt in the cage, and it's given Adesanya a different way of approaching his fights, more like choreography than combat.
No, I was also a good dancer, so it would have been either fighting or dancing. I would have been great at one of those, honestly.
Being good at dancing probably helps you fight.
Facts, literally. Like I say, dude, what's his name? Miyamoto Musashi said, never give a man a sword who can't dance. So if you, footwork, rhythm, timing, on beat, off beat, everything, they can't catch me.
So, how good is Israel Adesanya actually? It's not enough to look at his record, which is impeccable. Numbers don't tell the whole story. Though you'd be hard-pressed to hear most pundits say it aloud, Israel Adesanya's main advantage is that he's smart. So far, he's managed to be smarter than all of his MMA opponents. For Adesanya, a fight isn't just a fight. It's a dance. It's a game. So far, none of his opponents have been able to match wits with him, at least not enough to defeat him. Adesanya is a chameleon in the octagon. He reads his opponents and plans accordingly, correcting his own style to match, complement, and outsmart them. What Adesanya lacks in brute strength, he makes up for in speed, agility, grace, and vision. He draws his opponents in, keeps them right where he wants them, and then he puts his powerful skills as a striker to use. Adesanya is infamous for not letting his opponents work from their comfort zone. He never lets them find their rhythm, or at least not for long. He makes them march to his beat, even though they can't keep up. He interrupts their flow, puts them on their back foot, and makes them unsteady. He feints, stays away until he's ready. He never wants their strategy to get in the way of his. And so far, it never has. Some might not enjoy his confidence. Some might even call him cocky. But nothing that Adesanya does is without reason. Everything is calculated. Everything is thought through. So far, he hasn't stumbled, and it's paid off handsomely. His persona in the cage, as well as in interviews, is all part of the game. All part of the art form.
But there is still something to learn from that, which is that Adesanya thinks this through every single step of the way. He is not a kid that walks into a test without reading and doing the homework the day before. He studies, he pays attention, he thinks it through, he comes up with a strategy. The same as he does with, am I going to lead with a jab and follow with a kick, or start with a kick and end with a cross? The same as he would think that part of the art through, he thinks the other part of the art through. And many people don't.
Israel Adesanya is bound to come up whenever the topic of fighting IQ is thrown around. He's managed to create a persona all his own, a unique character in the cage, utilizing the drive, passion, and creativity of his youth, coupled with the wisdom and intelligence that comes from maturity and learning from his mistakes. Adesanya is one of the most skilled and unique mixed martial artists working today. This makes him entertaining to watch, of course, but it also makes his a career worth emulating and a talent worth admiring. It's unlikely that we will ever see anything like him again. The last style bender indeed. What do you think of Israel Adesanya? How good is he actually? Comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching the Ultimate Fighting Network.